Now, I had one of my readers the other day ask me, how do I come up with a storyline? I'm looking at a blank screen, I have a small scene, and I just don't know what to write beforehand, and I don't know what to write afterwards. Now, I can totally sympathise with that person, because for the longest time I used to struggle with coming up with storylines. You know, I might have this scene where something was going to happen, but I couldn't think, what can I put in the book to build up to this point? And even if I do get to that point, that was probably the best thing I thought of. How can I come up with something else that could be, you know, just as good or even better, to keep them reading the book from start to finish? Because, you know, the last thing you want to do is somebody reading halfway through a book and the rest of it is just complete letdown. So you need to come up with a storyline. Now, as I said, I used to struggle with that for the longest time. How do I come up with a storyline? So the thing is, if you watch a lot of TV or you watch a lot of movies, you already know how to come up with a storyline. You're just not aware of it. Now, what I'm going to explain in this video is probably going to ruin every TV show that you watch from here on, or every movie that you watch from now on, because you're going to know exactly what's going to happen next, how the strings are going to be pulled on you emotionally with tension and all those different things. And you're going to be able to see behind the curtain and know exactly what's going on. So if you want to stay, you know, naive to that, or don't want to know, switch off this video now, because I'm going to spoil it for you. But if you do want to create a storyline or want to know how you can do it, keep watching. Now, as you're probably well aware, when you switch on a TV show, usually it would start in action. It could be your character running, it could be some terrorist maybe who is building a bomb, or something is going on in the background. It could be maybe some drunk driver is getting behind the wheel of a car, and you know straight away that this guy is going to cause a huge crash. And because your character is a doctor or he works in an ER, you know that this event is going to affect your character. But so you're curious of how your character is going to get dragged into this. So there usually is an event at the start of the book that would grab your curiosity and keep you watching. And as I said, you're thinking, how is my character going to get dragged into this? How is this going to affect his life? And you know, what's going to happen in it? So if we jump on just a little bit first, it'll probably, I'll be able to explain it better if I do that. So we have our start point and we have the end point. Now, the end point is usually where your character has been successful, has, you know, if he is an ER doctor, he's just clocking off on his shift, he has gone through the drama that was there beforehand, and he's just going home, he's totally exhausted, or he saved the day, or whatever it is. So we have the start and we have the finish. But as you're probably well aware, at some point in that timeline between the two, there's going to be this huge event that's going to happen, and it is going to be one where it looks like your character isn't going to get out of it. So again, if it was something like ER or Grey's Anatomy or something like that, you would have this point where, you know, your character could be in maybe an ambulance that's crashed, they're upside down, and there could be maybe diesel fuel or something like that that is trickling in, and it looks like he's never going to escape out of it. Or it could be like a cop show where you have your main character who is maybe on the ground and there's a junkie standing over him with a loaded gun, and your character looks over and his hand, you know, his pistol or whatever is too far away to reach, and it looks at the point where your character is done for. There's no way they're going to escape out of this. So again, as I said, we have the beginning, we have the end, and about 3/4 way through we have this kind of big event that your character doesn't look like they're going to get out of. So if you get a piece of paper and just kind of draw a little kind of timeline, have your start, have your perfect ending, but about 3/4 way along that timeline, just make a mark and put in whatever could be the worst thing that could happen to your character. So how do you come up with the worst thing that could happen to your character? Well, your character is going to tell you that. Now, if your character is someone who is maybe a single father, maybe who had lost his wife through sickness or a car accident or something like that, he might have a daughter. So what you need to do is you need to come up with a list of what is the worst things could happen to him. Now, the very worst thing could be that he loses his daughter as well and he's left alone. So how can you work something dramatic effect, something in the storyline that would make this his worst day ever? So for example, if we go back down maybe a terrorist who's building a bomb at the start of the show, you could have the point where maybe his daughter is out on a school tour or something like that, and they are visiting the local museum or they're visiting the White House or something like that. But of course they are visiting the day that this terrorist, that your character's daughter is visiting the White House that day. So we have her visiting, and you know that the worst thing that could happen to him is to lose his daughter. And you have tied your terrorist at the beginning into the storyline. So what we need to do then is what is the second worst thing that could happen to your character? Say for example, maybe he could be under pressure at work. What maybe if he lost his job? How could you write that in? If he lost his job, and say he is a single parent, it's only one income that's coming into the house, and what if he lost that income? What if he had to tell his daughter, I'm very sorry, I can't keep you in the private school that you're in, or we need to move out of this wonderful home or this neighbourhood we have because we just can't afford to be here. So again, make up a list of what are the worst things could happen to him, in relation to his daughter, or some part of his life that would make it difficult for him. So if we go back to the TV show again, when you do watch it from the start, there is all these different events, and usually something small at the beginning. For example, maybe he turns up late and he has an argument with his boss, and his boss threatens him and said, the next time you're late, you're going to lose your job. Then you might have another event then where the next day he goes out and tries to start his car. Of course his car doesn't start, he's run behind time, and you have the drama of, oh God, I'm going to be late, my boss is going to sack me. So what you need to do is your start point, you have the end point, you have the worst thing 3/4 way through, but on the build up to that 3/4 point, you have hurdles that he needs to go over. So a small hurdle at the very beginning of the book, then another hurdle he has to get over, and another hurdle he has to get over, and then we reach the point where it looks like he is screwed, or maybe he is trapped in the White House with his daughter. It looks like they're all going to be killed, or he's in an ambulance upside down and it looks like he's never going to escape, or the policeman who is staring down a junkie who looks like they are going to blow him away. So that's a quick summary of a storyline. Now, I do have a course over in the Writecom membership area which goes through it in even more detail, so I've just summarised it here. But again, as I said, if you aren't sure how to come up with a storyline, go and get your favourite movie out, or watch your favourite TV show or whatever, and just have a pen and paper, and just you'll notice points of the TV show, whether some people call them beats, where you're going to notice a beat coming into place, or you're going to find this mark on the scale as you go through the TV show. You're going to have the action bit, you're going to have the mundane life, you're going to have a little bit of drama, some hurdle that your character needs to get over. They're going to get over that, but in doing so they've probably put themselves in more harm's way, and then another hurdle to go over. And as I said, you will find that point where your character is looking down the terrorist or whatever. It looks like they're never going to get away, but something that was mentioned earlier on in the TV show is going to come to rescue them. Maybe an old friend that they hadn't seen in years suddenly is visiting the White House that day, and of course he is an ex-Navy SEAL or something like that. Or if they were trapped in an ambulance, it could be maybe that one of the technicians said, this is a new tool that they have bought the other day for us, and it's supposed to cut through seat belts in 2 seconds. So your character's sitting upside down in the ambulance, and it looks like they are going to burn to death, but all of a sudden they look down, and of course they find the exact tool that was mentioned earlier on, and that is the one that cuts them out of it. So have a look at your TV shows and movies, and you'll find all those different things in it. But again, as I said, you have your start, you have your finish, the perfect end and the happy ever after. What you need to do is come up with what is the worst thing that could happen to my character, and then work out lesser and lesser threats or events in your book. And then when you're putting them in your book, start off with the smallest first, work your way up to that midpoint or the 3/4 point where it looks like everything is going to be over for them, and then bring it into a close. And that should give you an idea of the kind of bare bones that you would need to have in your story. But as I said, because you have already seen enough TV shows and enough movies by now, you are well aware of how it actually plays out. So if you'd like to ask me a question, or you'd like to watch more of these videos, you're very welcome to. You can send me an email to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com, or if you'd like to know what I am up to or find some of my content or my courses, you'll find them over on writecom.com. That's WRITECOME.com. And as always, thanks for sharing your time again today, and take care and have a great day. Bye bye.